If you know what you're doing, it's always worth taking a chance, taking a risk on these items. We have made a ton of money by doing just that. Hey, it's Don. Today we're going to look at some items here that it's always worth taking a chance on as long as you know what you're doing, as long as you investigate this area. We're going to look at some items I just picked up, something that I always make some good money on. So today we're talking about puzzles. I've got a few right here that are going to make us some really good money. Most people don't think much of puzzles, and even those that do make some huge mistakes that can cost you some big money with buying and trying to resell puzzles. If you don't realize some of the potential problems with puzzles, right off the bat, you could get yourself dinged, you could get some negative feedback as well. One of the biggest things I see people do is all they do is count the amount of pieces in the puzzle to make sure it is all there. You know it takes a long time to put a puzzle together. So if someone's going through this puzzle and you didn't physically put the puzzle together to make sure the right pieces are in there, all the pieces that belong are in there, you're going to get yourself in trouble. If somebody's spending a week or so to put together an advanced puzzle that you sold them for some big money, and it's not all there, you are definitely going to get yourself a ding from bad feedback. I've seen it so many times from people not doing the right thing with puzzles. Now, if you do the right thing with the puzzle, you put it together, you have high potential to make more than anybody else out there selling the same one who didn't do that. I won't mess with the puzzle, nor would I recommend anybody out there messing around with puzzles if you're not going to put them together to make sure they are there. Many times when these are donated, let's say you're getting it at a thrift store. If the thrift store gets it and it was opened already, it could be dumped in somewhere, some pieces could fall out. They could just grab them, dump them in, and mix up pieces from other puzzles as well. I've seen that a million times. We've put together a ton of puzzles here. Again, it's not that hard. It's fun for some people as well. But without putting them together, you'll never see the issues that arise. At least 25% of puzzles I've gotten may have the correct amount of pieces, but they may not be the correct pieces. They may even have more than enough pieces. Sometimes there's extra pieces when the puzzle was sold, so counting a puzzle is not the correct way to save yourself from a world of pain. I promise you that. It is always the best result to actually put it together. I've seen the results. I've seen the negative feedback, and the whole works. I've seen the responses that other sellers have said to buyers, hey, I counted it. They were all there. It is up to you, the seller, to make sure that it is complete, and that if it is all there, they are the correct pieces. Again, putting it together is the only way to be assured that you are doing the right thing when you're selling puzzles. Now let's talk about value in some of these puzzles. Now, I spend probably at most $2 for a puzzle like this. I always buy certain types of puzzles. Now, most of the Ravenburger have some potential, but when they are tied to a cartoon character like this from a German or a European comic book, it's well worth looking into. This puzzle right here, if it is complete, I could get $50 or more for fairly easily. There is not another one of this exact puzzle up on eBay right now. Now, I've looked up the Ravensburg as well here, and you can see also that these can sell for some decent money. $50 or so for some of the new ones. Even used, they are still selling for $40 plus. Again, it all comes down to what you price them at. For the one I showed you, there are no other ones up of that exact artwork on here, either sold nor up. So I can put a higher price on it because of that. Overall, you can see that they do sell. Mine is from the 90s as well, so it is a vintage one from the initial release of those sorts of puzzles. So it has the interesting, the expensive aspects of it going for it. It should sell for some decent money because of that. And with puzzles like this, if I can put them together and take a picture of it complete, it will sell for more than those who just have the puzzle there and say they counted the box. Again, you never know what is actually in there unless you put it together. Routinely, I can get $50, $75, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 for some puzzles, as long as you, again, know what you're doing. I don't mind taking a chance on puzzles. Now, these three that I just showed you, these three puzzles here, I have some good potential in them. So even if all the pieces aren't here in one of the puzzles, the other two will make me some good money. I'll make well over $100 off of these. Now this one is a Springbok, a very good name to look for in puzzles. One other thing that this puzzle is a octopuzzle. This actually has 8 sides, just like you see the box. Many of these 8-sided boxes are actually circular puzzles, but this one is not. So this has many things going for it. Hypothetical Hypercube is the name of it, and it's by someone famous who did some, I guess, science, some artwork and things like that also. It's by Ben Cunningham. All of these sorts of puzzles I've pretty much at least got $45 for. I don't even care what other people sell them for. I always get good money for these sorts of puzzles. And I've just pulled up Hypothetical Hypercube, the puzzle, so you can see for yourself. Now, somebody sold one here for $24. It was put up as an auction. Now, as a bin, I have sold pretty much every single one of these as a buy it now option for $45 plus. This was undersold. It was underlisted. The person had no clue on how to price this. They also left off a couple of key informations. The octopuzzle aspect of it always adds to the value, as does the person who actually designed the puzzle. So if we pop over here, we can also look up Ben Cunningham puzzles. So in general, Ben Cunningham puzzles sell from $30 to $75. So regardless of any other factors, like this person here, putting it up at a fixed price for only $13 gave the puzzle away. They all can sell for more than that if you list them for more than that. The only difference in who got what for their puzzle is how much they listed the puzzle for to begin with. If you know that aspect of it, you can put a decent price on it. If you look how many have sold versus how many are up at the current time as well, you can see that there's only one or so up at any given time, and they all routinely sell. So you can price them up higher because at some point you are going to be the only one up who has that specific puzzle. That is why you can get top dollar. That is why someone got $75 versus $40. That's why someone got $40 versus the $13 or $20 one here. And even just looking up octopuzzle here, you're going to see that just the octa part of it can actually increase the value on it. There are some that are selling for $200 of the same basic designs of it. There's some that are done, say, by Peter Max right here, or other artists. Arthur Singer right here. So all of those reasons have to be in there. So if you're going to list it, you've got to know all the little aspects to get the most money out of it. The money's there on these as long as you do your homework. And another Springbok puzzle here as well. This is Soaring Spirits is the name of it. All the Springbok puzzles like this that I've run into have a name. Easy to look up. There's numbers as well, but the name is all you really need to do. And as well, I looked up Soaring Spirits, and this one goes for some decent money too. So sealed $64. Now complete, they're getting $25, $26. I know I can get more than that if I price it higher. Again, it depends on how you price it. If you price it correctly, you can get good money out of them. $40 for most of the decent, highly collectible, complete. Again, you need to take a picture of it put together to get the top dollar. You're never going to get more than the bottom average sellers if you don't put it together. It's just not going to happen. If all of these 3 puzzles here are complete, I'm going to get around $150 or so for these puzzles. $3 to $6 on these 3 puzzles is the max I would spend. Bottom end, usually I get $1 a piece into them, up to $2. Now, I don't pay more than that. In your fight, your reason why you can tell somebody you won't pay more than that is because there's no way to know if it's complete unless they can have it sealed or they just put it together. There's no other way to know. So that is the plus way with these. It's always a chance with good puzzles like this that there is a piece missing. You can't substitute a piece or anything else like that. If you're going to get top dollar for them, they have to be complete with the right pieces. There are some vintage puzzles like Stave and things like that that can go for thousands of dollars. Wooden puzzles, for an example there. There are some fabulous ones that are handmade even, hand cut out with the jigsaw, the whole works, that can go for thousands as well. older puzzles, block puzzles and things like that from the 19th century can sell for some big money also. Let's hop over for just a second here and show you the value in that category to begin with. We're just in Terapeak, and all I've done is look for the word puzzle in the toy and hobby section. That's all I needed to do to figure this out. Now you can look right off the bat. There are some high ones. There's $13 million of puzzles that have sold, basically. I know some of these may not necessarily be them, but it's a large amount of stuff in here. Now you can look through and see puzzles, individual single puzzles, like I was saying, hand cut, that sold for almost $4,500. Stave is another very well-known one, as I said, $4,000 for this set of 4. Now you can go through here and look at them yourself. Puzzles are a huge, gigantic area that constantly, routinely sells. Even cheaper ones, if you can buy in bulk, you can make a ton of money off of. As long as you understand what you have to do, and again, I'll say this one more time, you have to put them together if they're opened to make sure they are complete and have the right parts. You cannot just count a puzzle. You are opening yourself up for negative feedbacks when that's all you are doing. There's no other way to do this. Again, if you don't want to do that, you don't want to take the time to put the puzzle together, you are risking negative feedback. You're risking a very upset customer who may have spent hours putting the puzzle together only to find out at the last couple pieces that one is missing or it's not the right piece. So again, if you're not willing to do that, don't mess with this category. The prices are there, though. Well, there we have it. Hopefully that gave you some ideas, some thoughts. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell all your friends.
These are America's favorite ball games. Baseball, football, basketball. Introducing Screwball, America's newest ball game. Screwball's a puzzle that's easy to take apart, but hard to put together.
I don't think it can be done. That's a little guy in the end doodle.
He's not saying anything.
This pepper in the Super Bowl.
It's all fouled up,
You
Richie.
don't know how to work a screwball.
Hey, look at him.
He's done it.
Screwball, America's newest ball game.
Can I have your autograph?
Me too. Give me one for my mother.